Hello and welcome back to Seconds Out. My name is Eamon Khan here with the Iceman Jason Cunningham, who has decided to close the curtain on his boxing career in the ring and change over to training. Jason, first of all, what made you make this decision?
Hey man, good to see you and speak to you again. And what made me make this decision? What else is there to do? I'm not going to win a world title now. I can accept that. I'm quite content with everything I have achieved in my career. So while I can still communicate and speak like this, and do all the bits and bobs, I'm quite happy and content to leave it at this, if you like.
When you say, speaking the way you are, keeping your faculties all in check, was that a concern for you?
No, never a concern, but then I only have to look back at Tete fight, don't I? And I'm only getting older. Obviously, Liam Davis, the outcome there weren't what I wanted. I've had my time with Frank, which I'll always be grateful for, to Frank and everyone at Queensbury. And then what is it now? I go back to small boxing. So, I could probably pick up some big fights if I wanted to, but I'm not going to achieve any more than what I already have done. So I'm quite happy. Financially, I'm all right. So, yeah, I'm happy to move on and look at, creating champions, creating opportunities for the fighters and going from there. I mean, initially, after the Liam Davis fight, it was more of a pride thing. Obviously, I was there was, bit of a, what's the word I'm after, bit of sticky, feel like in that build-up. He kind of played up for cameras and everything else. And I kind of had a little bit of pride, something to prove, if you like, but time's the healer. And as time's gone on, and I've been involved more with, obviously, the training side with Steffi and all the guys in the gym, obviously managing a couple of fighters as well. I'm still busy. My mind's still ticking. I'm happy. And I'm enjoying it, getting the passion with that now as well. So, even over the last, mainly most of December, I was out with Sergio Jane and taking him on the road. And I'm honest with you, I enjoyed that, just getting around A to B all over the country, up and down, and just having banter with lads. And yeah, I'm quite happy to move on to the next role. So yeah, I'm satisfied.
When you say, the pride was kind of there after the fight and things, was it an easy decision to make to hang up the gloves?
No, not necessarily. Initially, straight after, I was like, no, I need one more just to sign out on night, maybe get all my faithful there, if you like, who support me over the years, and then on a good night, I'm going on out on a high, if you like. But I've really been that busy, and my training's really slacking off as well. So my motivation's not there, if I'm honest with you. Yeah, I'm motivated now with training and managing, but my own personal training motivation, it's kind of, it's not my priority at the minute. It's not something I'm interested in, and I'm quite content. It's like not like I'm going to live with regrets. I never cut no corners. Did everything the hard way. Did what I can. People didn't expect me to do what I did and achieve what I did, but I did. And no, I'm happy. I can just can all kind of curtain close there, if you like, and move on to the next stage of my career.
How much did the way that the Liam Davis fight ended factor into your decision, considering that was considered going into the fight to be quite a tight fight between you two?
Yeah. Do you know what? I had the best camp. There's no excuses, and fair play to Liam. I had the best camp going for that fight, performing well in sparring, everything else. And then, just on the night, you get caught cold, this and that. But at that level, that one defeat like that, it just sets you right back. You're on the rebuild again. It's like, how many times you keep going back? Yeah, I've had my setbacks and I've had to come back and I've climbed the ladder again, especially on the small shows. But I'm 34-year-old now. I'm not going to win a world title. That was kind of the decision. The only thing I had left to do was win a world title. I've done everything else, and I've done it in multiple weights. The only thing left to do was win a world title, and that kind of sealed it there. It's not happening. So, like I said, again, your health is your wealth. I'm happy going out like this. My faculty's intact. So, there's more to life.
I'll let you take the reins here in terms of the highlights that you like to touch on throughout your career, which will resonate and stay with you for the rest of your life, really.
The main one, above all, I've got tattooed on my body, only winner take risks. And if I didn't take this risk or this opportunity, nothing would have happened from the European title onwards with Frank and everything else that came after. If I didn't take the Gamaliel fight at 3 weeks' notice, after the pandemic, after I think about 18 months out of the ring, like I say, with 3 weeks' notice into a 12-round, a major fight, obviously European title, one stage before the world, then if I didn't take that shot at 3 weeks, which a lot of people would have probably declined it and turned it down, then I would have never seen anything after that. And I'd have probably retired and I'd have just, never achieved what I went on to achieve. So that is definitely my number one highlight. Obviously, boxing behind closed doors as well. not everybody did that. It were a crazy time that we lived through. So, to go in and live in the hotel for 4 nights, 5 nights, whatever it was, behind closed doors, playing ping pong and everything else, that were an experience in itself. So that's one thing that I'm happy I ticked off in a time that will probably never happen again, because the pandemic was something else, as we can all agree. That's got to be number one, and that'll never be beaten. Brad Foster led me on to, obviously Frank Warren, 10 years boxing on the small shows, taking risks in the away corner. I become a British freeweight Commonwealth and European champion before I even signed with a big promoter. Everything else was done by me and Steffi on the small show. So obviously I've got a lot to thank that man for as well. So they're the two. There's always, along this journey, always stories and, loads of experiences that I wouldn't have got without boxing. So there's many I can list, but I'd say they're probably the top two of the lot. Another one, if you want 3, then the third one was probably the Michael Conlan fight, because everything kind of took off after there. That's when I knew I was good enough and believed in myself. And personally, I was going for a tough time in my life then as well. That fight kind of gave me some focus, give me some purpose, give me a kick up the arse, really. And then, like I said, I kind of went on from there, and everything were on the rise.
Who was the best opponent you faced in the ring?
The best opponent I faced in the ring? Just as in fights itself, or sparring, or
fight? We'll go with fight itself in the ring.
In the fights, there were some good ones. I always respected Jordan Gill in the fight, his skill. I don't think I performed my best that night, but obviously I showed plenty of grit. I was up and down a couple of times, then went on, went for it in 10th round. But I thought he was very, very skillful, good, and obviously Jordan's gone on to achieve a lot, coming off of a good ring with Michael. Michael, again, very good boxer. Someone I've had a lot to do with after as well, him and his family, with Jamie, and obviously I've got a lot of respect there for them guys. So those two were very good. As much as it hurts me to say, and he failed obviously on Peds, Tete was hands down the best I've ever been in with. Just on the night, we joked about it after and said, like you're on drugs. And then it came out, he won. I mean, don't get me wrong, he's been at the top level, 2-weight world champion. His history, he's come over, he did what he did to Paul, did the same to me. Just little things they did that night, and they were exceptional. I kind of held my hands up after and appreciated how good he was. I just said, you know what, I've been beat by the man. That's elite level, world class, and I just went good enough. Obviously, what come out after that kind of, gutting, because if if it weren't like that and he were on the fade, and I did get the win, who knows what I'd happen next? But it is what it is. Life goes on. He was hands down the best. Those were a close two behind him. The best I probably sparred, if you want to go in terms of sparring, Josh Warrington. I thought Josh was very, very good. Maxi, obviously I've done a lot of work with Maxi, went through amateur clubs together. So I've been with plenty of good names as well. So I'd say those were the top kids.
The focus is on moves to the outside of the ring side, the training side of things. How do you feel kind of embarking on that journey into 2024? Very
confident. I've got the passion for it. Obviously, I've got plenty of experience myself on my fighting career, both good and bad. Not all in my favour. I've seen what it's good, I've seen what it's bad, I've seen what it's like to be with a good manager and someone who kind of doesn't do everything for you. So I'll be putting my all into my fires, giving them my 100%. Obviously, I work closely with Steffi, and he's been there and done that, and got an amazing CV for it. So I can only learn from the best anyway. So I'm very, very excited for the future. Just going to look at getting some fires racked up now and go in from there.
Jason, what would you say to the current state in terms of the health of boxing up in the north, when fights are like the big nights are kind of reserved for like London and abroad, of course, but mainly in the UK and London? What do you think about kind of the northern area and fighters coming through as well too?
It's a tough one, because if you're good enough, then you're going to make it, aren't you? There's always that. It took me a long time to get there, but I did finally get there. If you sign with a big promoter, then obviously you're contracted anyway. It is a little bit slow around the northern area, unless you're as far as Manchester. I'd fight night in Sheffield still. Obviously, there's still, Matchroom are still bringing it to Sheffield. But it is mainly the big south venues, if you like. Now, obviously, venturing to Saudi Arabia, which is brilliant if you're good enough. If you get over there, then you kind of your quid's in as well. So, it's one of them. In terms of opportunities with promoters, it's one of them. It's always going to be politics in it. Sometimes it's not, it's kind of who you know and who you're with that kind of helps you as well. See, we've got a couple of kids in our gym. A flyweight, well, I mentioned just on top of my head, a flyweight, Connor Kelso, very, very good. He's current English champion. I think 9-10-0 is Connor, 2-time ABA champion. And he's just, he reminds me a lot of myself. Very grounded. No, he's just a straight up pro. You don't have to tell him twice. He just does as he's told and just cracks on. Kids like him deserve the opportunity, or deserve that opportunity on the stage. So that's kind of for me moving forward, where we've got these contacts like Sir Frank and obviously Steph with Eddie and stuff like that. You want to try and get your best for your fight and the best opportunity. So, we'll just see what's what. But then there's the other side of the coin, like I've said, the journeyman role. I've enjoyed going out there. So, if you get a few journeymen behind you as well, it's regular work for them, regular work for you. And yeah, just all boxing. Whether you're a champion, whether you're doing it just to earn a few quid if you like, then yeah, it all has to it.
Now, I know you'll tell me you had a great career and you wouldn't change anything and this, that, and the other. But if you could go back and change one thing about your career, what would that one thing be?
One thing that I would do, just from early experiences of things not going my way, and it's always hard starting out, especially on small hall. I'd have probably got with Steffi a little bit earlier than I did. It only really took off for me from that point onwards. I've had some good people behind me, and I've met some great people through boxing throughout my career. Obviously, always grateful for those people and for my experiences, but that'd probably be the only difference, because nothing really took off for me until I kind of got with him. But still, even from there, it's been a good journey. I've loved every single bit of it. Boxing's what I am, and even from amateurs to professionals, it's for me to pass on now and try and bring the next generation through, if you like. So I'm satisfied. I'm happy. I hope I've given plenty of entertainment as well. And on to the next chapter.
Just while I have you here, you mentioned Gil and Con, and they faced off in the ring, and those two at points will have contemplated different paths in their careers. What do you think's next for them?
It's hard to say. It's not down for me to say. Obviously, they're their own person, and they'll have people around them to ask advice to. Obviously, Jordan's probably going to come, get a big fight off the back of that, and deservedly so. And Michael, whatever he may choose to do, regardless, just like myself, I've come off something like that, and I've decided to have my gloves up. Not saying that's down to Michael and his decision, but what he's done with Olympics and what he's achieved as an amateur, even as a professional, he's fought for a world title. He can be proud of himself, and obviously he's brought some big nights back to Ireland, to Belfast, and all the rest of it. So they're both a credit to boxing.
Credit to boxing, indeed. Like yourself, you ended your career at super bantamweight. INOUE holds all the belts at super bantamweight. Do you see anyone taking those belts off of him?
Do you know what? That Tapi has actually gave a good run. He took a bit of fist like, but I knew he was caught. It's not like he was absolutely invincible and walked through everything. So it's one of them, innit, when you keep moving up the weight division. There's only probably so far you can go. So it'll be interesting to see what happens when he comes against a big puncher. Obviously some big punchers in there in the super bantamweights and Mexicans and everybody else. So it'll be interesting to see what happens when he gets, checked on his chin, if you like, because everything is kind of at his own way. Yeah, he's an amazing fighter, elite level fighter, and he hasn't really put a foot wrong. You can't discredit him for anything he's done. But yeah, as he keeps stepping up, I don't know. Like I say, when he becomes an elite level puncher, then yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. But as it stands, nobody has done the job, have they? Or looked close to doing it.
How do you think Liam would fare against him?
I think he's got the power to knock anybody out, hasn't he? That's the thing. So I think it's a matter of time before you get chinned. One thing for sure, if you do fight him, you're probably going to earn a few quid. So there's always one bonus on it. But no, it's an hard ask for anyone, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Indeed. Jason, I'll leave the final word with yourself to people, if anyone you want to thank or people you want to mention at the end. I'll leave it to you. Yeah,
I kind of did it. I just put a little bit on social media just to thank people, and there are a list there in itself. Obviously, all my former amateur clubs, people on the way, sponsors, people who've always supported me because I couldn't do without any of them. Obviously, all me and my coaching team, from like I say, amateur to professionals. Steffi for absolutely everything he's done. Ray Doyle as well, head trainer. Like I said, those guys play a place in my heart. Frank Warren, everyone at Queensbury, even Neil Marshall, who set that kind of deal up, and he's always been there for advice. List goes on. My partner, my mum, my dad, people will back me. He said, "You put me on spot now because if I miss anyone in this interview, and I'm going to kick him in after." So everyone's played a part. They know who they are. You put me on spot. So if I have missed anyone, I apologise. And yeah, this is it. It's done.
Jason, pleasure speaking to you, pleasure connecting with you towards the tail end of your career. Thanks for speaking to Seconds Out, and looking forward to seeing you in the opposite corners in the ring as well too.
Yeah.
Not the end of the journey at all.
Well, I'm on the safe side of the ropes now, aren't I? So I'm at a stage now where I tell them to do the sprints on a weekend up the hill. We have an hill on a Saturday morning, concrete. That I don't have to do it. I can stand there with a coffee and I don't know, a breakfast wrap or whatever, and just tell them to run up it. So this is the easy side of it, or it should be. But yeah, no, we're looking forward to plenty of big nights. I'm, very, very confident I'll produce champions. Think I've got the right temperament for it. And, I want it just as much as I did when I would be inside the ropes. So yeah, see what the future brings.
Looking forward to it. Pleasure's all mine. Thanks for speaking to Seconds Out, sir.